At my own wedding, my parents never showed up. No call, no message, no explanation. Guests kept asking, "Where are your parents?" I smiled politely and said, "They're on the way." But deep down, I already knew they were at my cousin's engagement party instead, because in their words, "He's the one making us proud. We can't miss that." My aunt laughed loudly. My sister whispered, "He always thinks he's better than us. Let him do his wedding alone." Everyone heard. Everyone smiled. They thought I didn't matter. They thought I was weak. They thought I'd always stay the quiet child who tried too hard. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I didn't explain. Because people who enjoy humiliating you in public aren't looking for truth. They're looking for an audience. I held my wife's hand tighter and smiled at the camera. Inside, I realized something important. Backhand index pointing, right? Some people don't ignore you because you failed. Backhand index pointing, right? They ignore you because they're scared you might succeed without them. That night, after the guests left, I checked my phone. Nothing. No blessing. No apology. No love. Just silence. So I stopped calling, stopped begging, stopped trying to prove my worth to people who had already decided it. I told my wife, quietly, "We'll build our own family. One built on respect." Weeks passed. I worked harder than ever, learned more, stayed quiet, no posts, no drama, no complaints. Until one evening, I shared one simple photo online, me standing beside my new car from Tesla. No caption, no bragging, just a smile. 10 minutes later, my phone lit up. "Mom calling." I looked at the screen and let it ring. They thought they had ignored me into nothing. They had no idea what I was about to do next. Time passed. No calls, no arguments, no explanations, just silence. I woke up before sunrise every day, worked 2 jobs, learned new skills online, saved every extra rupee. While others were sleeping, I was studying. While they were gossiping, I was building. Not for revenge, not to prove anything, just to become someone I could respect. My wife never complained. She packed lunch, sat beside me during late nights, reminded me why we started. Slowly things changed. A small freelance project turned into a steady client. 1 client became 5. 5 became a business. Months later, I bought my first office chair, then a desk, then a tiny rented workspace. No announcement, no celebration, because real growth is quiet. Meanwhile, I heard things through relatives. Dad's shop wasn't doing well. My cousin's big business failed. Family dinners turned into arguments about money, but my name still came up. He probably got lucky. He'll fail soon. He's always showing off. They were still talking about me. I was too busy to notice. One evening, an old family friend messaged me. "Is that really your car on Facebook? From Tesla." I replied, "Just working hard." He said something that stayed with me. "Your parents didn't come to your wedding, but they're showing your photo to everyone now." I didn't feel angry, just quiet, because success doesn't change people. It reveals them. Weeks later, I heard Mom asking relatives for my number again. Dad asking what I do now. They were curious, not about my happiness, about my success. Still, I didn't rush. I didn't call first. I didn't explain my journey, because people who ignore your struggle don't deserve a front row seat to your victory. And one day, the truth almost revealed itself. At a community event, someone introduced me as the owner of the company that had just signed a big contract. My uncle's smile froze. My sister stopped talking mid-sentence, but I stayed calm, shook hands, spoke politely, left early. No drama, because I wasn't trying to prove them wrong. I was simply moving forward. They were still discussing my past. I was already living in a future they couldn't imagine. A few weeks later, there was a family gathering. I didn't plan to go, but my wife said softly, "Go, not for them, for closure." So I went. When I walked in, the room went quiet. Mom stood up slowly. Dad couldn't meet my eyes. Before anyone spoke, my cousin said, "Is it true you own that company now? The one that bought the new office building?" I nodded. Someone else added, "And that car from Tesla, that's yours?" I smiled politely, just the result of a lot of quiet nights. Mom's voice shook. "We're proud of you." It was the first time she'd said that in years. No one laughed now. No one whispered. They apologized. Not loudly, not dramatically, just softly, because truth doesn't need noise. I didn't remind them about the wedding. I didn't mention the silence. I only said one calm line. "I hope next time we choose people over pride." Then I hugged my wife, thanked everyone, and left early, because respect forced by success is not love, and peace is more valuable than proving a point. They thought I was weak because I was quiet. They didn't know. I was simply busy becoming strong. The next morning, my phone rang again. Mom calling. This time, I answered. Her voice was soft. "Careful. We saw your photo, that beautiful car from Tesla. We're proud of you. Beta. Can we visit?" For a moment, the old pain came back. The empty chair at my wedding. The silence. The whispers. But I stayed calm. I said gently, "You're welcome to visit, but not because of my success, because of respect." There was silence on the other end. Then she whispered, "We understand." Weeks later, they came with small gifts and quieter voices. No boasting. No excuses. We drank tea, talked slowly, started again. Not perfectly, not magically, but honestly, because forgiveness doesn't erase the past. It decides the future. As they left, Mom hugged me tight and said, "We should have been there that day." I smiled and replied, "I needed you then, but I learned to stand without you." That night, I looked at the life we built, peaceful, simple, ours, and I understood something forever. Silence is not weakness. It is preparation. People mistake calm for incompetence. Respect is not demanded. It is realized too late. A few months later, Mom called again, not to talk about money, not about my car from Tesla, just to ask, "How are you really?" That was new. We met for tea. No big speeches. No drama. Just quiet honesty. Dad said softly, "We were wrong. We chose pride over our son." I didn't argue. I didn't remind them of the wedding night, because I had already learned something bigger. Some apologies come late, but they still matter. I told them calmly, "I didn't need your approval. I needed your love, but I learned to stand without it." Mom cried. Dad nodded. We didn't become a perfect family overnight, but we became a real one. Slow conversations, honest respect, small steps. And that day, I realized success didn't bring them back. Silence taught me who deserved to stay. Because true power isn't making people regret hurting you. It's building a life so strong, their noise can't shake your peace. They thought I was weak because I was quiet. They didn't know I was simply busy becoming strong. Years later, we sit together sometimes.